Hi guys, this is Linus Almeyer from software.eu. Today I want to show you uMMO version 2. So I will show you general features and how to use the demo scenes. But first of all, uMMO 2 is using UNet, so that's Unity's latest new networking layer, and the older version of uMMO, which you are also purchasing if you're purchasing the latest version, but the older version was using Unity's legacy networking layer. And so with the new one, we got a couple of changes, but most of all, we kept the look and feel and a lot of the features who were really working, who were really also working for our clients very well, and who got a lot of praise. So yeah, let me show you around, let me show you some features and how to use uMMO to your advantage. Anyway, let's get right to it. This is one of the example scenes, and I will show you what uMMO has to offer here. So in the beginning, I want to show you the uMMO prefab. So I think you know that from other third-party assets, you need the prefab, the main prefab of it in the scene for getting kind of the context, so that the functionality is being activated. The most important here, you see some properties that have been assigned to certain prefabs and scripts, and that is because uMMO uses scripts as plugins. So one plugin is a network manager plugin. We have a connector plugin. I will explain those in more detail in a minute. So, and furthermore, we have some other plugins assigned, and I will explain them also. So first of all, the network manager plugin. It's as a child of the main script. So I'm sure most of those of you who have experimented with UNet recognize this this editor layout. So we have here the network manager of UNet, and you can do several things here. You can assign the player prefab. You can assign, an example, I have assigned here two AI prefabs also. You can configure your channels. So, and multiple other things, timeouts, and stuff to simulate network latency and all that. So that is that. Furthermore, we have a demo connector, and the connector I will show you just right now, because this is quite important. So why don't we start up the scene and we'll see what happens. So in order to do that, we select File, Build and Run. So Unity may now tell you to kind of choose a location for the standalone player. So I already done that. That's why it's starting immediately. I hit play. So I have two actually instances here. So let me just start this in the editor. Two instances of the game, and both of them can either be server or client. So of course server we only need one. So in example, let's choose the editor to be server. And you see here it's being populated by quite a lot of AI. And now I take the export standalone player and make him client. Alright, so my player has been spawned into the scene, and I can run around here. I can make these cool jumps. And the AI is doing the same. They run around, minding their own business, jumping around and all that. So why don't we add another player to the same scene? So we'll just look for where I saved the standalone player on the hard disk. So this is here. So I open this. This always opens on the other screen, so that's why I then take it here into the recording field. So we have the one client here, and we'll make another here. So as you can see, wait, just looking for the other guy. There he is. So both players are now visible, and I can run around and make it a cool experience for myself, you know. So the other can do the same, of course. And all the AI is synchronized, and that's working fine. So that is that. Let's see what just happened. So we spawned into a scene where there were already NPCs present with a player prefab. So, and we're able to move it and whatnot. So let's see how we did this. Let's see how this, came to be, how this worked. We click here on the network manager, and so we saw some NPCs first. So why don't we inspect that first too? So we have this dude here. We saw running around and jumping, and it's an NPC. So let's first of all inspect what components he has. He has added. He has an animator for the animations, character controller, some scripts. It's called random characters. It's from Unity, like the whole scene is from Unity. It has a network identity, which is mandatory for UNet. So, and here's the net object. This is uMMO's kind of script to say this represents something which is networked. Okay, so we have an object type. It's set to a non-player object because it's an NPC. And we have some methods here. As you see, when you go with your mouse over these properties, you will get hints, quite extensive hints and help text, which helps you to make the right decisions within configuring your characters. So we chose here as a transform syncing method to sync using default uMMO plugin. So default uMMO plugin. So I just want to refer you back to what we saw in the beginning. I will just go here with you to the uMMO prefab. So the default transform syncing method, this is a property which can be assigned here. So when I click on this, it shows me which plugin is actually default transform syncing plugin. So this is the network interpolated transform. And we can see that it too has some options. You can these are actually native to every plugin. Most of them, not all of them, most of them. You have a quality of service channel ID, so you can choose through which channel this plugin will be transmitting values. The channels, of course, just not to get confused here, and so we know what we're talking about. The channels are these, of course, here on the UNet Network Manager. So let's get back. We can set the send interval and the read interval per plugin. We can also assign a number for the decimal places with which the values of which should be transmitted via this plugin are read and written. So we have a reading method, so you can just assign here whether values are being read periodically or read on demand. I will explain this later. And we have an interpolation time. So we will see about that. These are values we don't need now, because what we were doing, we were inspecting this this AI character. So what is actually being said here is that the transform syncing, so position and rotation, should be done with the default uMMO plugin, which is assigned here. All right. So let's not lose track here. The same for the animation syncing method. So just to let you see, this character is using mechanism animation. So what will actually happen is this plugin will be used to synchronize its animations. So what you can also do is here assign which of the mechanism parameters should be transmitted, should be synchronized. uMMO actually does that for you. So basically you don't have to worry about position, rotation, and the synchronization of animations made, whether it is mechanism or legacy animations, both work. Okay, so now we have the next section, and it is called handle scripts based on spawn case. So what this actually does is it categorizes the scripts you are using for your character. So, and I know that there are many different character setups, many different assets which can be used to set up characters. So I really wanted uMMO to be as flexible as possible and to work with all kinds of configurations and character setups. So we have some lists here. So this is the server NPO scripts list and the client NPO scripts list. So, and in the server NPO scripts list we have one script. So, and to actually assign that, what you do is, sorry, where is it? It is the random characters thing. So what I did to actually assign this is I dragged and dropped the list from here. So just slowly again. So you click on here, hold the mouse, drive downstairs, so to say, and just release the mouse here. And so what is the effect of that? The effect is that this script will only be present when this character is being spawned on the server. You know? So we could, in fact, we could eliminate this this setting by doing the same in the client NPO scripts list. So I would just take it from here, drag it, and put it down here. You know. So now there would not be any effect because both in both situations, whether it is spawned on a server or spawned on a client, the uMMO the random character script would be present on the prefab when it is spawned. So, but we don't want that. And why? Let me just quickly delete this again. So this is actually, of course, we would have to know what's in there. This is actually the script which makes the character run. You know, so it makes them run around and randomly jump just to you know, have the scene populated just to demonstrate. Okay. So what would happen if this would be if this script would be present on the server and on the corresponding prefab on the client? So you would have a character which actually should get all its movement values from the server, but it wouldn't, because it would also at the same time being controlled by the same script doing the same stuff on the client. So what you want in basically in a dedicated server setup, or basically in any client server setup, is that the NPCs are controlled by the server. You know, so the server says like, okay, you go there, you jump now, and you wait a little bit, and you jump now. Okay, so this is actually exactly what this does here. So this is why I added random characters to the server NPO scripts. So if this would be spawned on a client, this script would not be there anymore because it is deleted before it can be active. All right. So yeah, why don't I show you? Yeah, let's do that. Okay, so in order to do that, I just close the clients we had open until now. Just do that again. So, and in order to show you, we will first now have the standalone player make the server, and the Unity editor itself will be the client. You know, so I now click on one of those dude low guys, and you see the random characters script is not there anymore. Actually, also the reference is missing because we really deleted it. It's not present, and it won't do anything. All right. And just very quickly, the other way around. So I didn't need to do that. Actually, we could have stayed with the other instance. Doesn't matter. So this time we make the editor again server, and the standalone we make the client. Okay, and we can inspect one of those guys. And here you see that it has the random character script. So it is active here, and it is telling the guys to jump around like crazy, you know. And so on the client, we don't need that script going. Actually, it would be harmful, you know, because then there would be all kinds of desyncs happening, and you know, Unity, the script on the local script would be telling the NPC to go that way, while the server telling the same character to go the other way. You know, this would be crazy and would be counterproductive. So this is actually what's happening. All right. So for the next things to explain, we're gonna change the scene. Let's see. Yeah, I think this is good. Okay, don't save. Anyway, so we have a new scene here. So it's basically it's just an empty field, and we will just drop a character on it and move it around with point and click. So let me just demonstrate what happens here. And again, we just to have it possible so that we have one server, one client. We only thing we need to do is just to create another instance, another standalone player, or you can also make an Android app or whatever. So this is this is this. So we make the server here, and we drop a client here. So this is just a robot, and we can order him around. That's all. And yeah, you can see that it works pretty well. So let's look at the setup for this character. Again, we go look it up by just using the network manager. So it's this one here. So you'll notice the scene is called point and click mechanism server authority, and this thing points to the robot server out. So this yeah, this I will explain this. So actually we have two scenes even on that. We have one point and click mechanism local authority and one point and click mechanism server authority. And actually what is the only difference is the character that we spawn in has this here on the network identity one change. So when we have an NPC like we saw in the last scene, we always, of course, need to have the server authority over it. So that you won't have a situation where at least in standard in default situations you won't find it useful to have a local client who have a client have a kind of command over an NPC, you know. So most of the times you will have NPCs controlled by the server. And so, but the situation here is different of course, because we have object type player. We don't have an NPC anymore. So actually, for the player, we have both. We can choose both situations actually. So we have one where the local player authority just lets the player himself control all movement of the prefab. And we have one where actually the server is in charge of the player prefab, but the input so that the server needs, so he knows what the client, what the player wants, is actually transferred to him, you know. So in this situation, actually, where you have a local authority player, the player, you know, he just he controls the prefab with his usual scripts, you know, and tells the player, tells the server, okay, I'm now at position X, Y, Z. Now I'm at a position, you know, much further on, you know, whatever. So the client actually tells the server, I'm there, I'm there. So in this setup, we need it so that the input of the client is actually transferred to the server. So the client says, okay, now I'm pressing W, you know, now I'm clicking the fire button, and the server actually executes these commands and sends the result of that back to the client. So this is the two situations. So I have, as you can see here, I have multiple scenes, and so except for the bonus scenes, all of them have local authority and server authority set up. So you can expect them very carefully and see what are what are the differences here. What are the things which distinguish one situation from the other? So, not to get lost in the train of thought again. So let's inspect what I have done here. Right, I think I forgot that to explain that. So the transform syncing method is in this case is a default native component, and what that means is UNet also provides natively components to have your character synchronized. So before that, in the other scene, we used a uMMO plugin, right? So to have values synchronized, the positions and the animations. So what is actually done here, when you choose this, you have this component activated here. This is actually a native UNet component. This is not done by us or something. So now he can control certain stuff. It's basically it's a good component. It has also its little things where you would say, okay, that's not optimal, but it's very well configurable, and it's a good component. So you can also in this instance choose what you prefer. The same, by the way, goes for the animation syncing. So we have, if we want, we have this network animator here instantiated. So, but let's do this now with this, not to confuse too much. So we just were at here at the we just spoke about the spawn case configuration. We also have the input collection method. So, and what that means is in cases, okay, I will just show you in contrast how it is done on where the player prefab is locally controlled. So there it looks very much, yeah, it looks very much different, this section, you know. So here we have input collection method, input sending method, and these properties just are just missing here. So, and the reason is we need a way of transferring the input from the from our local environment to the server. So, as I just explained, the server needs to know what he should execute in order to have in order to do what the player wants, actually, right? So what we do here, we have collect on demand, which is basically in most situation, I think, which is fitting. You can also do this very manually, you know, to set up the input axis, you know, which to send to the server. So you have here mouse X, horizontal, or you can configure keys, you know, like all these kind of keys. But we don't do that here, and we don't need that in this instance. So we basically go with the basic case. We collect the input on command or on demand and send it to the server. Here we can also decide in which function the input is sent there. And this you will have on both local and server authority cases. So it's basically a work in progress. Don't ignore it for now, you know. So, right. Yeah, let's see what happens. Basically, in the next section, we will now see here that the default uMMO plugin for syncing mechanism is being added here for when the player is spawned, and yeah, because this is handled in game now, because we chose here to use the default uMMO plugin for the animation syncing. So let's start this up again. Here we have our character. So basically what we do here is we send to the server where I click, and the server executes this, and he sends back the position of the player. So this is not in this case not handled locally as said, but on the server and then sent back to us. So this one, this is the next section. So it is now populated with one plugin. You know, this is also added here because we added it under this point. So next, you'll notice that the spawn case is empty. You know. Although there is a difference between what the server does and what the client does. So these are just so to have the spawn case make that work for you is basically one option. You know, we saw it in the other scene. So I will now show you a different option. And for that we need a script which actually controls the character. That's this here. So as we use this is a network behavior. This is basically UNet's new thing you can inherit from to have some very comfortable API calls and properties like is local server and has authority. So basically what we did in the other scene by dragging that script into that server list spot, you know, to say like, okay, only on the server this script should be active. Actually, what we do here is we do this in the code. You know, we say like, if this doesn't have priority, if this doesn't have authority, then we execute this command. You know, and command is also UNet specific thing. Look it up. So what it basically does is it executes this function, but it doesn't execute it locally. it executes it on the server, you know. And as I said, as we are using server authority in this example, so if we don't have authority, you know, then basically what we have to do is send this command to the server to put the destination position yeah, on this target, on this new vector, you know. So this is actually what's going on here. So this is the other option for you, or one of the other options for you to make it so that you use the same prefab on all platforms, you know, on all on the server or on clients, you know. But the controls of it, of course, have to be different, you know. The client cannot just control things which should be controlled by the servers, like NPCs, and the server basically should execute what the client tells him to, you know, so that actually the player, your player, your clients, whatever, are in control of their own prefab, you know. So if this is I can imagine this is pretty overwhelming right now. So this can all be confusing, especially depending on what your prior knowledge of networking and of Unity and of UNet of all these factors basically are. So don't get confused here, you know. I will show you in the future in other videos. We will set up a character, you know, from scratch to basically advance through all these steps, so that you can see what is actually, yeah, what different options do I have in what situations. What can I do to make this work so how I want it, you know? Basically, this is because uMMO is all about flexibility. It's all about making you able essentially to create any kind of MMO you want, with any kind of character setup, any kind of game style actually, and to empower you to make all these, you know, little changes which which are little on the first sight, on the first impression, you know, some little number or some scripts dragged somewhere, you know, but actually make it work like you imagine. So to make matters worse, let me show you another method of how to configure your character. So for that we make a scene change again. Let's see, we go into this little space shooter. This is basically also a Unity demo scene available on the asset store from publisher Unity. So what I want to show you here, okay, basically let's first run it and show you what it does. Okay, oh wait, we still have this other thing open here, right? So you cannot overwrite the file while it is in use, of course. So first I have to close that, then build this scene. So here it is, and yeah, let's make this one server, this one client. So okay, okay, yeah, the explosions are not replicated on the client, and you'll see that basically, let's wait out this wave. Basically, the movement on the client. Oh, I messed up again. Just 1 second. The movement on the server side are not as smooth as on the client side, and that is because on the server side the movements which arrived there. Oh, I'm bad at this. The movement which arrived there are not interpolated, you know. So this is the reason why you see on the server side kind of jiggling of the what's the English word? Jittering of the spaceship, right? So this actually works great if we make it a second client. Okay, you have to be quick here because otherwise the one is dead again. Right. So basically you see that okay, now both are dead. You see that on the clients the interpolation between the positions which arrive are much smoother. It is basically they are a little bit behind. There's a little bit delay, but this is because of the interpolation settings. So let's not worry about that right now. What I want to show you is how the character is basically set up. So we notice by looking at the network identity component that in this scene there is local player authority, right? So we do have as client who basically commanded the server to spawn the prefab. We do have this thing under control ourselves, and we basically send to the server ourselves what should basically be the position of it, which position should be transmitted to all the other clients as our current position. So we have its local player authority. It's a player, of course. It's not an NPC. We have here default transform syncing again. Animation syncing is switched off because the spaceship does not have any animations, so we should not have any component for that activated. So what I did do is this audio source here, you know, I put it into local into client local player scripts, you know, so that if you are developing and you are spawning a server, that you don't hear an echo of when the player shoots, you know. So this is only active for the local player. Yeah. So, and what I want to show you is so we have one player controller here, and it's not added to client local player scripts, although we would need that in order to have a situation where only we as local player can control this spaceship, right? So, but in this instance, it's done differently again. So I will just open this. You remember before we were inheriting from network behavior, and this time it's inherited from player action, which is the uMMO script. So it enables you to have these components to your as to your disposal. So we can see here in the mechanism script, which we had earlier, that we have input, right? So the normal way of collecting input from Unity, from the Unity scene. This is now here replaced with uMMO input. So basically, you can do the same things. You know, you see here that get access works just the same way as in normal Unity engine input. Only we have one extra here, and that is for the normal, for the usual function get button. We have a get button sent to all. So this basically says when you want to fire, you know, you send this command to all the other clients also, you know, to all the other peers actually, you know, also on the server, also on the clients, you know. So you basically if this happens, you know, on the local client, you know, on the one who's controlling this thing actually, this spaceship, this event gets executed on all the other clients, you know, on all the and also the server, so that basically everyone shoots, right? So, and we don't need this for the get access because the position themselves will be transmitted to the other peers in another way. So what the uMMO input component is helping you with is actually to avoid code like we have here, you know, if is local player, and if it has authority, or if it doesn't have authority, then do this and that, you know. So this is basically all of them in once, you know. So basically only inherit from player action. You can then use the same callbacks or whatever, or API calls you would use with network behavior, because player action actually inherits from network behavior. But it also adds this this class, which gives you basically empowers you to use uMMO's enhanced input processing, which is basically which basically incorporates already whether this is done on the local client, you know, on the player who's actually who should actually control the prefab, and whether he actually has authority, and this also works in both settings, whether we have let me just show you. Not that we get confused. This is working for both settings, whether we have local player authority or whether we don't have it, you know. So basically, in both cases, these commands do actually different things. If we have local player authority, you know, it basically only acts like the normal Unity engine input. So it basically catches the input, executes it, and this is it, and then transmit to the server what the server has to know. Or in the other case, where we do not have local player authority, you know, in the case I deactivated that, this also works just the same. It has the same working, but not the same inner working. You know, it has the same look, but not the same inner working, because the inner working is you send the results of get access horizontal to the server. The server executes it and then sends back to you what actually resulted from that. You know, so what is actually also I think very important for me to point out is so why do we even have this kind of um, distinction between having a local player authority or having server authority over all the player prefabs? The difference is that so when you have local player authority, as said, the player, basically every client transmits its position to the server to to basically spread the information to the other clients. So they can actually say for themselves, okay, I'm at position something something, and now I'm somewhere else. But this is actually very prone to cheating, So speed hacking and teleportation, and if you make it in a broader sense, then also if you have multiple variables like player health and this stuff. So if the client has control over that, he can basically send to the server whatever he wants, So very important a message, I think, in networking is never trust a client. So, but I have seen many companies, many especially indies, who don't, who really want to set up the most easy configuration, So, and for those kind of situations, you really have the local player authority, yeah. Also because it gives kind of different. Kind of gaming experience where you really execute what you are doing with mouse and keyboard in the example of PC gaming um, right now, so you're really experiencing what that is right now, and you only send the results of that to the server, and you basically trust every client when you say local player authority, So UNet does have some protections against cracking your executable and cracking your basically your builds that you distribute to your clients, to your players. But the most secure method is actually to have it to have server authority, because there you only send the inputs to the server, and like, okay, now I'm pressing W, now I'm pressing space, So, and there's no way that the clients can then in any way, in example, speed hack, So there's only your input and nothing else. The server executes it on his side, and then sends you back what actually you have done, and also to the others, of course. So to the question, why local authority or server authority, one is just a little bit more easy to handle. Local player authority is just a little bit more easy to set up, although uMMO makes it pretty even, not totally, but pretty much, I think. While the other server authority really gives more security and just just it should be the basic, every basic game design that's decisions are made on the server, you know. That was, I think, pretty important thing to mention. Okay, bear with me. There's one other topic I want to talk about, and that's plugins. So I talked about a little bit before. In example, the demo connector. I said in the beginning it's important. Then I didn't really elaborate on it. Let's see. So on the uMMO prefab, we have one option. It's called architecture to compile, and what you actually see is you have default use custom connector. So by default it is using the GUI, which is generated by this script. Okay, so it's just really legacy GUI script, really simple and really only good for testing. Only applicable if you want to, if you have, you have your multiple instances, and you are, okay, this one is a server now, this one is client, tuck. And so for production, you want to use, an example, server, because what is the effect of that? If you start your instance, it's instantly switching to server mode, and so that's becoming handy if you want to deploy on a Linux server. An example, you make here, let's say here Linux, and here you activate this switch here, headless mode, so that you actually don't need a graphics unit to display, to render the game. You only need to calculate what is happening there. So in this way, you can have server-side collisions and all that. Pretty actually very easily integrated and working. So for testing, always use the custom connector, which comes with uMMO, or write your own connector, why not? So it's applied here, so you can just assign here your own, of course. And for production, use server or client respectively, so that it is instantly used what you actually wanted to do. All right, so this is one plugin. And the other very important plugin I want to show you, we will actually, I don't know if it was from the same scene. In between I switched scenes. We are now in Space Shooter Co-op Server Authority. So let's build this thing. So first has to re-import. All right. Let's to confirm the position again. Okay. So here we go. So let's make this the server, this the client. Okay, see it's instantly stop here. So let's observe what happened here. So because I said transform synchro method is the default uMMO plugin, this is exactly what happened here. So this was added here at runtime. So let's inspect this script. What do we have here? This is a plugin that comes with uMMO, and maybe a few of you will recognize this. We have here a serializer method and a deserializer method. So actually what this does is, these are functions that have to be overwritten if you inherit from authority serializer. So, and this actually represents what in the legacy Unity system was on serialized network view. Okay, so this is the writing side, and this is the reading side. You know, actually, in this instance here, we have the position and the rotation just synchronized. So and overwritten if there are any changes to it, you know, and if there are, then from the authority side, so that can be the client or the server. So this is very flexible, you know. So this script will work in both situations, because it always serializes from the one which has authority to the one which does not have authority, you know. So we synchronize the position and rotation here. We gave it only some key by which the dictionary in which it is actually stored is being recognized, you know. So if there are any changes, like an example in the position of the prefab, you know, they are saved here and sent to all which don't have authority. And the same goes here. Here they are being received. So we first create some local variables, and then we assign them here to the value which arrived over the network at the most recent time. You know, maybe it could have been 1 millisecond ago, it could have 1 hour ago. You know. Um, So here those values are received, and then they are processed further, you know. So as said, these are basically representing what in the older Unity was on serialized network view, which was a very cool function actually, if we're honest. And I was kind of sad that they had to let those go, you know. For some reason. So I revived them in uMMO. So actually, you can now again just this way transmit your own values. You know, it's very easy to make such a plugin. You know, you just inherit from Authority Serializer and just transmit your own values. So everything is handled for you. New clients who arrive in the scene will just get the initial states of those values all automatically, you know. So that is pretty handy. So what comes close to this actually in UNet, in native UNet, is actually the sync-var. But I have found it actually pretty unpractical. You know, I really cannot work with it so well. I mean, it's a little bit buggy, and also the hooks for it don't really work all the time. So, and I thought like reviving this on serialized network view is really the best option to have uh, just a very comfortable developer experience, right? So this is comfortable and maintainable, and I think you will definitely learn to appreciate um, especially this function here, sync, which is actually on the authority side doing something completely different than on the non-authority side, because on the one it's saving and sending, on the other it's reading and receiving, you know. That is actually it for now, I think. I mean, I'm sorry that became kind of a long video. I only wanted to show all the or most of the features and how to handle them, how to, you know, to get you a little bit started. So how does this start? How does this work? So it kind of yeah. Actually, I had a lot to explain, and I'm sure there are questions or just comments or whatever, you can drop me a line. Drop me a line via Twitter, via Skype, email me. I'm available in usual office hours, and I think in most cases I will pretty much be able to answer you within 24 hours. Maybe not when I'm on vacation, but actually you can, yeah, you will see that I take customer relation and customer support pretty seriously. As mentioned, I will do other videos so that we set up a character from scratch. I will write extensive documentation. What I actually want to achieve is to make Unity and uMMO your tools to create your dream MMO that you can work in any way which you deem possible, in a flexible and responsive way, so that you have a maintainable project where you can make decisions with one click and not have the whole thing blow up, like having local authority and server authority, with the authority serializer plugins and the spawn case lists, so that you will be happy with your purchase. So I think that's it. If you have comments, then let me know. All right, see you guys.